can go straight into questions for Coach Collins.
Coach, just best way you can recap that one.
That was an old-fashioned butt whooping. Gustafson's probably the best post player in the country this year, and I mentioned before we played this, it always felt like she shot 100%, even when you watch her, because it seemed like every time she caught the ball, she scored, and we let her shoot 100% tonight. So our game plan was to make her touches difficult, and I think our post kids were doing a decent job of trying to get around. Like we're not more physical than she is, so we were really trying to make sure we were in front of her and making those catches difficult. The breakdown was our guards didn't keep the pressure up on the ball, and so those passes inside, you can guard her all day long, but you're not going to be perfect. And so we kept breaking down, allowing the second or third pass around the perimeter. That guard wouldn't keep that pressure on there. And so I've seen a lot of teams guard her different ways where they were able to push her out of the lane. We don't have players that can do that. So that wasn't going to work either. And I felt like our game plan fit our personnel best. We didn't execute as well. We'll go back and work on what we got to do defensively, because really, not just tonight, but we've not guarded the three-point shot. I know Gustafson got off tonight at 13 for 13, but number 3, I forget her name, she was 5 for 10 from the three-point line. So again, we've not gotten out to three-point shooters fast enough. That's been a problem even in the past. Last year we had some breakdowns like that against several teams, and so we're going to go back and make sure we clean that up.
Do you guys have the effort that you wanted to? I know you guys have usually shown up and been competitive in these games, but it just seemed like second half just.
I feel like the effort was strong in the first half, and then we came out in the second half and we executed. We were trying to cut that thing down to 10. I think we got it to 10 at one point right there in the third quarter, and then it just got away because we repeatedly made several mistakes. We subbed, took some bad shots that led and went back down and gave us some more baskets on the other end, and so it kind of compounded. And I think then they kind of lost. They lost their confidence that they could compete with them, and so then we kind of turned it in more into a practice, and we were trying to work on the things that we could do to get better as a team. And to the kids' credit, for the most part, they were still out there trying their best to execute and do the things that we were working on. And then, so we didn't want to waste the rest of the game, even though they felt like they weren't in the game. And so we'll come back on Thursday and we'll get back to work. We played 3 pretty good teams, 2 of them in the top 15, and so I think the kids have learned a lot, and we'll keep working and keep growing.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, one thing that Whitney kind of talked about was the balance scoring. Had multiple people in double figures, not only this game, but through the first other games. Is that just kind of a positive takeaway?
That is a positive, and we've talked about sharing the ball, and I think we've done a good job of sharing the ball. Really, our breakdown isn't, and it happened at Oklahoma. We didn't share it as much as we had in the Louisville or in the exhibition game, or even our closed scrimmage. We did a good job of moving the ball tonight. I felt like part of it was their defense was they were in a zone. Our breakdown is still we're not finding shooters and getting the ball to them in a spot ready to score, and that shows in our 13 assists. We're just not getting enough. In our exhibition game, I think we had 29 assists, I believe. I'd have to go back and check for sure, but we're not getting the ball to the players when they need it in the spots where they need to be able to catch it to score. And so we're working on that. We're learning, and that's something else that we'll just continue to get better at.
What's been the biggest difference in these games where they've been able to just really get out and go, whether it's post players? It reminded me of Oregon State. They just got out there tall and just really just pushing the envelope on you guys. And tonight it just sort of seemed like the same thing. Do you see a trend maybe with other teams and styles that they have that allow them to come in and just overmatch?
I think the biggest difference is size and strength. And it's not so much athletic ability; it just seems to be size and strength. And so a lot of times that the ball comes off the boards, and they're able to grab the ball because of strength. They're able to get more position, or better position, and more space, and they're able to grab the ball with 2 hands where we're tipping the ball, or the ball becomes loose, or they get a hand on the ball. We lose the ball where somebody else would take care of the ball. So that's something that we worked on in the off season to get stronger. We have gotten stronger than we were last year. We're not a lot bigger. We're going to get bigger, I promise you, through recruiting, we're going to get bigger, and so that just takes time. We're playing with players that are working hard. They're doing their best. We're playing some players against some players that are just bigger and faster than us and more experienced. I mean, although some of our kids have been here and been on the team, they've not been put in this position yet. And so this is the first time that Raneem's been in this position where she's had to be the focal point of the center of the offense. And so in the past 3 years, that's been Ivy Brown. Last year, Raneem was more of she would play off of Ivy Brown. So the kids are learning, and these are some tough lessons. We won't continue to play. We'll have some more games that'll be against teams that are ranked in the country, but everybody in our conferences is going to be in the top 15 in the country. So we'll be okay. We're going to keep working.
Coach, after giving up 90 points, at least 90 points in these first 3 games, is defense going to be a little bit more of a focus moving ahead?
Well, it's been a focus since really since the exhibition game, and it just takes time. And I told you, our offense is ahead of our defense. We got a bunch of kids that like playing offense, and defense is something that they just have to work harder at. And it's not just a fundamental; it's also an understanding of spacing and rotations, and that's why we're playing a lot of zones, because right now our man defense we're not able to be where we need to be. There's too wide a variety of ways to attack a man defense, and so at least with the zone you're able to control that a little bit more. But there's some fundamental things that we've got to get better at, and there's a lot of kids that just haven't played. Raneem and Aram and Merrill haven't played a lot of defense against American players, and so they're learning as we go, as well as some of the other young kids.
What do you think playing against Gustafson tonight kind of did for Raneem going ahead in the season, probably playing, arguably the best opposing big man she faced?
Well, I think she's learning, not just tonight, but she's learning against Louisville. She learned against Oklahoma, and she's learning that to be the one in the middle of the offense, you've got to be pretty strong. It's a different game than international basketball. She was very successful in international basketball. I think she's going to be very successful here in American style basketball. She's just adjusting to the style of play. It's a lot more about getting position and making sure she's a good target to throw the ball to. We got her. She's doing a better job. I think you could see, if you look at the film tonight, she was making herself a bigger target. So it's not like she hasn't improved just in the 3 games that we're playing. She's just still got a lot of growth in front of her, and I'm not going to let her get discouraged. We're going to keep working at these things, and she's going to be a very good post player. She's going to be a very good basketball player for us. She's a sophomore, and this is her 3rd game in that role, so she's going to be okay.
You mentioned the 3-point defense and just not being able to close out, but are you seeing the same problems through 3 games on trying to close out with a bunch?
Yes, absolutely, and that's a good point. And we talk often about that. We've worked on that, and it's not just a skill that we're teaching that they're not learning. It's a mindset about the players are afraid they're going to get beat off the dribble. And so they're stopping before they get to the 3-point shooter. The 3-point shooter is still taking the shot, and that's what I keep telling them. Like when you play high-level teams, those players are looking for less space than maybe the space that you're used to against the other teams that we might play. And so you got to take all that space up, and then you got to trust your teammates behind you. And so that's something that we're working on. We've done a better job in practice, but just like everything, there's a little bit of slippage between practice and the game. So we'll get back at it on Thursday, and we'll get ready for Central Michigan.
Anything else?